This is Coco de Rock. You're watching Crafthouse TV. Game changer.
Yeah, Blackjack. Inze. Yeah, Mavudo. Udinyoza. You're a boy fed. Alright. Hey,
everybody, you're watching Crafthouse. See? Please don't you touch that mouse, see? Cause you know you're gonna miss Crafthouse. This is Crafthouse TV. My name is Chegal on the Blackjack. You already know what it is, man. If you wanna watch more of me and the rest of the people there, you know, me and the rest, watch it right here. Blackjack. To the world, Crafthouse. To the world too. One time only.
Welcome back to yet another episode of Streethouse, and as usual, you're with me, your host, Lucie JR. And in today's episode, it's quite an interesting one. We're talking hip-hop, we're talking the roots of hip-hop and how it's going in the country. So stick around and find out who our hip-hop guest is or who is. Kicking off the show is music here coming in from the late Wisdom Chitedze, and this one is called Dibewe.
Malawi, Tamverani, Ezi kudipa habari ndanza tuambira mwali yafaja Ezi nyimbo hii tufuna ulimve kuti mkhale nawo moyo auze mbale modular methods be regular market regular shall be SMS to your cellular in particular while you still perpendicular put in matenda wa Ezi sasa mala uma tamidwa kaya niwe jeno manager kaya chikwa yanya kwa wakamena house will be regular teaching and changing before the Syria, killer V6 with cause AIDS. One of them diseases I've never seen. You got your life show with the deadly easiness. A business of families and our communities. See the devastation of our dignities and memories. We're playing yells of the days gone by. Remind us we're gonna die, so we shit is from my eyes. And that's concerned, though I miss I'm very rude, dude. By the attitude in my neighborhood is a prelude to a string of funerals from the ghetto. To the high use of Yamba's bungalows and coming on my leaves as a way for us, as a prayer for us. This life is very dangerous. I'm Christ. He's the savior of our continent. God is everything. Our demise is very eminent. And we ask the president of the cabinet to talk about the issue on the nation like the internet. Abale tipewe. Urara wanga, omai wanga, chimwene wanga. Under the sun, so what I want. These lovers in the Makomani, they spot to witness. And you be back, hoping while we be praising Jesus. And intellects us, 105 to house, cause we dressed like a newborn. She had the Namacha, I'm a watcher. I'm a mark, remember Mama Wa, and a Wahula, and you in a Wakutingila, Sefla. The Lama needs to get the Mama Jayla, Siboka Tikana, John doesn't feel, Yipo Mama Wa. Dita Nila Manilo, but now we are with him and him, some people are Vino, for the Fayo, it's your own funeral, waiting for you, based on true so true. We bring what we saw, that's a whole deal, yo. You get to use your nothing less, nothing more. On the gun, like to leave, are you gonna leave it? When it's all done, are you really gonna love it? It's not a pretty feeling to know why you're living. You're gonna die soon, you're gonna know, hopefully. Urara wanga, omai wanga, chimwene wanga. Ezi siwona ngobe, siwona ngobe, siwona ngobe. Ndithi kumalila tikulila, bale tipewe. Siwona ngobe, siwona ngobe, siwona ngobe.
Ndikamachimukawo olumusandikonde chonde tipewe mitima yathu ifewe eti ilime zake moyo imalanda lero tikumafanta mawa tilikumata kukwirira anzathu okanika kumbirira kugwirakwira zinthu zawirira eti imabisala mu makazi ofira beware brethren cause that virus is a killer chaka chinocho satana watilusira mkazi wa mwini wake iwe ukusilira kumangozungulira kukana kukwatira dzulo unali pachibwenzi ndi prisida lero ukutamangira kazi wina living the lifestyle of a burned out sinner ukamwalira asangokumbukira dzina daily ukugomera osala latina trying to get in between a thigh so you can brag to your pimped out guys about the lust of your eyes. You gotta pay the price for the life you lead. That's why the HIV virus is killing us by CE. When you see Tima Kali, when got you in Tima about Puka Ozi, where otherwise you don't take from Puka Oji, where you were all night a virgin anyways.
Welcome back. Our guest today, like I mentioned earlier, is talking hip hop. We're talking about who is wearing the crown with hip hop, who is the prince, who is the king of hip hop, and he's here to pretty much break down everything because he is in the world of Malawian hip hop, and he is none other than Slessor. Wow. Well, you seem doubtful about that.
Did you just call me one of the best?
Are you blushing? Did you not know?
It's so surreal. It's, okay, of course I'm pretending, but it's fine.
Okay. This is no room for pretense here.
I know.
There's no room for pretense. This is real. This is as real as it gets.
I know what time it is.
Okay. But how you been, man?
Mixed bag.
Yeah.
Mostly okay.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's been a journey full of surprises, growth, and exciting moments. So in a nutshell, you know, I've been all right. Yeah.
All right. So this is pretty much a space where we get to pretty much know and unpack Slessor, parts of Slessor that maybe people are not so familiar with. Yeah. So take us back to when this actually began for you. Did you start off as a rapper?
Shocking fact, I discovered I could rap in elementary school.
Okay. Standard
3 or 4, actually.
Were you exposed to rap music at the time?
Yes. Partially. I used to watch a lot of TV, obviously, back in the days, Channel O, Big Brothers, you know, that would go to boarding schools and come back home trying to look cool so that, you know, they get ready for the next term and they're the coolest kid in class. So they'll listen to a lot of hip hop music, a lot of Eminem, a lot of Jay-Z, a lot of D12. Basically, that's how, you know, I got influenced to get into the whole music thing. But then what really, you know, like in primary school as a kid, what really gave me a little direction in terms of, oh, wait a minute, I think I do have a skill, was when I kicked a freestyle, a 3-bar or 2-bar freestyle.
In elementary school?
In elementary school.
Okay. To
some white chick that I was in class with.
Look at
you know? And she used to make fun of me. She's like, you know what, you remind me of Keenan and Kel. You know, the fat guy, Keenan, you know.
Okay, now that you put it like that, now that I think what if I got that resemblance? Now I can't take it.
You look like Keenan. I look like Keenan. My name is Slessor. I need to tie my lacer. Oh! Those 2 bars. You know, it was like, you see, I told you. You know, this young lady was like, you know, see, I told you. You know, well, you actually, you know.
You got it.
But it never really made sense to me because I was really young. You can imagine standard 3, standard 2. By the way, is this program bilingual?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, so you know, penalty got in my ad lib bilingual. That was a job of my guy, you know, being young. This is Nahide anyway. Okay, this is something like a skill or a talent.
This is rap music.
This is rap music. But until secondary school.
Okay.
You know how my V shows or Karuli secondary schools, there's a lot of entertainment activities. You know, if you have a skill, come rap, come sing. Now, because of the continued influence of the hip hop that I used to listen to, one day I decided to start recording myself at home.
Okay.
You know,
you got your whole kit.
Yes. All I had to do was install Fruity Loops in my PC, you know, back in the days.
Yeah.
And you do that, you make a beat, and, you know, you get a dynamic microphone, not like the mics that you have nowadays where you have the condenser mics. Add a dynamic microphone, you know, those normal mics.
Yeah.
And I'll connect it to the PC and just like test my voice to it. Make a little beat or record over some old beats that were famous back in the days.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, and then I'll record myself for like 30 seconds. I'm like, wait a minute.
I think we got some.
Okay, this is actually how I sound on a beat, you know? You know, fast forward.
This was secondary school.
Yeah, secondary school now. And then fast forward, you know how it is in secondary school. You got the cool kids who can rap, who can break dance, who can sing, and you're trying to fit in. And I had this one friend who was already doing it.
Okay.
And, you know, he used to record on tapes. And he would sit down, you know, brag and, you know, hey, roll on your nails. Yeah, some people that I still communicate with, but I don't think I still talk to them. But yeah, they, you know, I got into recording and then met a friend. We decided to go and perform at one of the V shows. And the response was mad ill. And that's when I knew, you know what? Hey. So at 15, 16, I knew I'm a rapper. Yeah. And, you know, I continued with that path, continued recording myself, making beats on my own.
Yeah.
Tried to get the attention. It was hard for me because at this point in time, I had relocated to Mzuzu after my father's death. My mom settled up north. So secondary pretty much was up north. And this is where I discovered the talent, you know, being young, you know, being raised by a single mom. I always wanted to express myself through art. And that's how I found myself being, you know, like a full-time, not like a full-time, but a full musician. Yeah.
All right. So when would you say, you broke out as a hip-hop artist? Were you Slessor at the time?
I had a very funny name, but it's gonna connect to, you know, like when the breakthrough came through. Okay. I used to go by the name Mr. C.
Well, where did C come from?
Slessor is a Greek name.
Okay.
A Scottish Greek name means a highly crafted, somebody who's really skilled at their craft.
Okay.
It's like they knew because it came from my mom's side.
Crafthouse.
Yeah, and look at that. I'm at Crafthouse TV. So, you know, a person who's very good at his craft.
Okay.
And in 2011, I met somebody who mentored me into music, but I met him through my cousin. His name was Frank CN. He passed on in a car accident. But back then they used to run a record label called HB Records.
Oh, yeah.
And I always wanted to associate myself, you know, listening to the radio back then, Kunzuzu, Star Radio 101, Pena Network, is it how you try to get the signal for 101, and then you listen to a few hip hop songs in the charts, and you want to rap like Barry Wan, you want to rap like Lomwe and all these guys. And, you know, I just maintained doing my thing. I maintained being me. Facebook had just broken out in the 2011s, 2012. And I would post my own links through Reverb Nation, share my links to like big stars, you know, like just hoping they'll give me a chance, you know, to listen to my music. I was in Zuzu. I had no connection to like big radio stations and TVs. I was just hoping for a breakthrough. Maybe Tay Green would sign me. Maybe, you know, I'd throw links. Like, I'll record my little demo that night, that week, weekly. Like, throw them links weekly. And then some would respond, some wouldn't, you know.
Who were some of the responses that you got from?
Back in the days, I think Sonya, but that was a bit later on.
Okay.
Sonya was after I signed with HB Records, and then Tay, and then I did a song with Lomwe, just after Big Brother. Just some of the big, you know, people that endorsed me when I was just breaking out.
Yeah.
So, you know, just in a nutshell, back to the, you know, the breakthrough. So I came to Blantyre for a holiday at my uncle's place, and decided to visit my cousin who was living in Durande then. So I visited him, and you know, I'm in the house and look at, you know, I meet Frank Cien, the guy that was like a co-owner of the HB Records label that I was signed to. So my cousin would, you know, like hype me up. Send any cousin one gamma speed. Sizanu so yen chat. Fun you. Yen chat of course I uzuzu go mano say fun you yen chat. And you know the guys are like, you know, zamu vela. Yen chat fun uzuzu. Fedo ku kai man. You know, and then, you know.
Hey, no shade to Zuzu.
Back then it was you were discriminated. It was like, okay, what could possibly come from Zuzu? You guys are like disconnected from like the main thing.
True.
Yeah, so fast forward, guy listened to my demos, and he was, you know, at the time HB Records had The Basement. It was signed to HB Records. Tana P, of course, was one of the, you know, the signees, and Frank Cien, of course.
Yeah.
Nora, back in the days in the 2011s. Hey! Frank decides to, you know, he heard my thing. Come on, a big shot. Of course, so the ball. Okay. And he went ahead to share the music with some of the label mates or some of the guys that were on the label, Abambo AB, Cyclone. And the first moment they heard those demos, the guys were like sold out. No. This can't be. I say, sign this kid right now. So I went back, you know, back home, having secured a mini record deal.
This is around high school or after high school?
This is after high school. I was doing my diploma then. I think it was probably like 2011, 2012. And yeah, I came back the next holiday to record. And I would record at the time, HB Records had a partnership with Pro P Records, Percy. So I would travel from Kameza to Jirimba, the Kubula, where Percy would record. That time, the Mascos and the Armstrongs, now on SMS, they were big.
Yeah.
You know, I'd go there, try to record, and then you're like, go to the studio, go to bees, you know, my guys on. Meanwhile, I only had a 2-week holiday.
Yeah.
And I wasted 1 full week. Mango Wednesday, right? Just sort of Wednesday, you record one song. Meanwhile, I was on fire. I had like songs written. I had like I had like 20 songs where I was ready to go. Like, this is the moment. And it just wasn't working with the timelines. So, you know, Tana P at the time had a discussion with Percy, with Pro P. I said, find out the timeline. I was Zuzu, ABCD. So with the way things are working, if we will just get our studio equipment and we'll go and record Kwajina Renegade and Pilgrim. So the next week I'll travel from Kameza to Vumbwe for 5 to 6 days straight.
All this, your mom knew that.
My mom at this point, my mom thought I was crazy. She wasn't even for it. She didn't even pay for transport. I had to use a friend's car who was coming to Blantyre. Like, don't see come on, their sisters with PTs. Then, you know, you can just jump in. Type of vibe. Because mom didn't even give me transport. Because at this time, it was like, music. So, you know, that happened. And, you know, I would travel from Kameza in the transport. I say, imagine, you know. Luckily, my uncle then was a bit supportive. He was like, okay, what friend and Jack. Music is, music, okay. So he still give me a little transport money, you know, I'd go. Fast forward, I recorded my biggest breakthrough song, which was called Heartbreaker. I recorded it there, right in Chigumula, Vungwisai.
Yeah.
The first version I recorded at Pro P Records, but because of the disagreement in terms of the timelines, I had to go and re-record it. I did One Madama. I did a couple of songs. Did that
cause any tension between you and Pro P at the time?
I was just a kid, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it was now the HB Records guys, the Tana P's and Pro P. Because, you know, you have to imagine, because the mic was his, the mixer was his. So basically what Tana P did was he just went and said, I said, timeline, I can do boy. Went and got his mic and mixer and took it to another studio. So obviously there was tension. You know, I think that's probably where their partnership ended also because of me. You know, and
do you still take that to heart? You were the cause of attention coming to Gogo?
Not really, because when you look at it, of course, Pro P, I understand him because he was dealing with big stars then. I mean, Onesmas, formerly known as Armstrong, Masco, Young K, those were those were his stars.
Yeah.
And he was probably focused on trying to like keep building his momentum. But at the same time, I was a sprouting new talent who also needed a chance. So, you know, I think the guys were just taking that risk because, you know, it paid off eventually. And in a nutshell, that's just my, you know, how the story came about.
Yeah. All right. So looking at Malawian hip hop, who would you say are the pioneers of Malawian hip hop, and who would you think is one of the best that you were listening to, the Malawian at the time you were starting up?
That's a difficult question because I grew up, not grew up, but I got mentored into this hip hop thing, listening to a lot of The Basement, a few, you know, Young K songs, Daredevil's a bit later on, you know, but mostly it was The Basement. I remember, you know, burning, you know, songs onto a CD that had The Basement on it. Young K, the First Impression album, really inspired me also. That was probably one of the best albums, hands down, and Kusumana remains one of my favorite songs.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna put it
of all
right
time.
there.
Of all
Put it
time.
right there.
Insights. Juchi mixtape. So in terms of hip hop, I think I used to listen to quite a lot of that. Revolver later on because he became a friend because we had a similar background. He used to stay in Zuzu too, but was only here for school. And, you know, I got connected to, you know, a lot of these hip hop artists through, you know, just basically being able to connect with their music. And these are the kind of albums that inspired me to be able to, you know, keep the strength going on in terms of the bilingual element as well. Young K was really good with the, you know, with the bilingual. He'd do English and Jijewa. So for me, or even at a younger age, the real elements, I was young then, but my brother being, you know, in high school, he'd come back home with like tapes and, you know, these Malawian guys are killing it. And then, you know, it would be like, you know, the Sticks, you know, David now, you know. I remember the Chichewa song that used to go, Diku era, Diko, whatever. I remember the rhythm as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, and like I'm saying, the inspiration to do music comes from different angles. Mainly through, for me, it was the influence around me because of a lot of music. And yeah, so pretty much.
All right, so let's talk about language. I think Antoine Billy, so they're really concerned about language, Masibwanoa, when it comes to putting out music, whether it's R&B, hip hop. How have you managed to maintain an audience English in the Bujijewas?
It's very hard because now you have to deal with guys that your biggest, like my biggest hit is a Chichewa song. It's called paChiwaya. My next biggest hit was, I think, How We Do from 2021. I did it with Chismo and Juchi. You know, there's a lot of Chichewa onto those songs. So I got, you know, there's some audiences that got introduced to my music through Chichewa songs. And then now they see me doing English songs and they're like, you know, that wasn't fair card, you know, so it's very hard to strike the balance, which is why I try to maintain the bilingual element. Where if I'm going to do a song that I know, I'm thinking strategically about it, I'll try and, you know, do a little of English, a little bit of Chichewa as well, so that I don't miss my target audience, because by the end of the day, I'm trying to satisfy both fans. And the majority might be the Chichewa ones, but I still also don't want to, you know, miss out on being able to outgrow myself and introduce myself to different markets internationally. Currently, my new album is out. It's called Did You Miss Me? And when you look at the stats, evidently there are a lot of people from different countries that are listening to it, which I think if I used one language would have been difficult. But if, since I do a little bit of English as well, they're able to I've got fans from Benin now, Russia, Germany, Finland, and you're like, what?
They can't even hear my but they're listening.
The English part is what they caught on to, and thank God for things like Spotify, Apple Music. Now music can go global, and with the algorithms, they end up, and then pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of lyricists as well in the country, a lot of great hip hop lyricists, and looking at you as well, you are pretty much also on the English side as well. You're also one of the. Why you keep shrugging? You keep shrugging. Are you not? Are you not?
I try to put my put my ego in check, because I don't want to grow wings. So I'm always trying to balance.
But don't you think that you're at that level where it's okay for you to have wings? It's okay. Like, you've been in the game for that long.
Yeah,
Don't you think it's valid?
So when you grow wings, think about growing
you can
wings.
grow wings in a good way.
Yeah, I know, but I feel like it limits your growth.
Okay.
Because if I put myself at a level where I think I can do better, it makes me want to go back to the studio and do something better. But if I say, oh, you know what, I'm probably one of the best that ever did it.
Yeah.
I made it on Channel O, or I made it on Freestyle Friday with Stoji T, who's one of the pioneers of African hip hop. Who
The way you're saying that,
who said
like
my
it's
freestyle was
nothing,
the
though.
best, But if I put that in, if I put that into consideration, then I won't grow, because it's gonna be like, I finished it all. I mean, but at the end of the day, I still want to be doing art and coming, with something different all the time, something better and different.
You are an award-winning artist.
Yes.
A lyricist as well.
I tend to forget, but yes.
Yeah. Silly me. How could I forget?
2020, yes, I had the Lyricist of the Year award at the Malawi Hip Hop Awards.
How did that feel for you coming in? This is definitely big in anybody's career.
I felt like for once I was acknowledged, you can imagine being able to do music since 2008 thereabout till date, and no recognition, coming from a place that was seen to be neglected, being able to come to the limelight and be noticed a little.
Yeah,
that it felt really good. I was actually surprised, like, what? Lyricist of the Year is me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a feeling that was really good. And that year I really did put a lot of effort into my penmanship in terms of writing, because that year I did State of Affairs. I talked about political situations. I talked about struggles. I did a live performance at Mikosi on the same before the 2019 elections, moving into 2020, pretty much I spoke of a lot of things through just through this art. Yeah. And it felt good. Somebody has actually noticed. Yeah.
All right, so State of Affairs, you mentioned that's really quite significant as well, as we're headed towards the elections as well. What role do you think that, let's say, music can play in sort of influencing the young people to go and register to vote? Because I feel like there's a lot of voter apathy. And
people don't want to go register, Johnny, because they're like, God, I voted, so nothing's going to change. I'll give you an example of the American elections. You see how that went. Obviously, Trump won, but Kamala involved a lot of musicians and artists in her campaign. I think they brought out Eminem, Megan Thee Stallion, meaning politicians do know the power that music has in terms of influencing the masses towards a certain direction. And the same applies to Malawi. We hear, year in, year out, politicians also use musicians to, do a lot of campaign songs. Music is very powerful because it's able to influence decisions and feelings. So, as artists, I think we have a very big role to play to be able to encourage, the voting masses, or encourage people to go out and vote and make the right decisions in terms of selecting the right leadership. So as artists, we have a very big role to play to encourage people to go out, vote, and also be able to make informed decisions through what it is that we've actually told them to do through our music. Yeah.
All right, so hip hop is considered a genre that's when it comes to being listened to, when we get to listen to how people listen to their music. I did R&B and Afro pop and all of that. How do you think the music industry right now in terms of hip hop is doing at the moment?
Wow, doors are opened. Even when you look at the Kosoma distribution royalties, we've got probably like 2-3 hip hop musicians that have, hit the 5 million mark, which tells you that hip hop is a force to reckon with. Because one, these people have been accorded royalties that are in line with the significance that they play in the equation. I think the highest in terms of all musicians got about 9 million. And at around the 5 million mark, we have hip hop musicians. So tells you the growth, that has come. At a certain point, hip hop was seen as Zanto Sojira, Zamafano boy. Now we've got corporates, CEOs that were former hip hop artists.
True.
CEOs that support hip hop music in these corridors, heads of departments that grew up on hip hop music, and they're the ones that are making decisions now, in the country. So hip hop has indeed grown, because now it's the hip hop generation that's taken over in most of these corridors, be it government, be it in corporates. So hip hop is now accepted
in the corporate world.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You spoke about Kosoma. This is a topic that I usually bring about with every artist that comes. Why? That artist.
I see what you're trying to do.
Look. Okay, Slessor.
Wow. I see what you're trying to do here. But
All right. So let's talk about Kosoma. Are you registered with Kosoma, and how has it been for you over the years? Because since 2008, you've been officially in the game.
Yeah.
Till now, 2024. Are you registered, and how has it been for you?
So sadly, I never really endorsed the concept of Kosoma up until 3 years ago.
Okay.
I didn't even know that I was supposed to be registered. Yet I had like my music.
Very recently, yeah?
Yeah, I mean like 3-4 years ago. 3 years ago actually. Yet I had, my music playing on heavy rotation on all these TVs and radios.
Yeah.
I turned on the TV, is my song playing. And I missed out on all those phases. For me, it was just like, I'm just doing this for fun. It's my hobby. I like to do music. I really didn't know that I could get returns from the investment I made in my music. Until, a colleague from work who's also an artist, Cyclone actually, Padari.
Okay.
And was so many. I couldn't register. I was like, hey, all those years I wasn't even registered. Like, dude, you've been slacking.
Yeah.
I went and got registered and found out there was a little kitchen in my,
Oh, they already had money.
Yeah. But then obviously I had missed out on the previous years. So
yeah.
I was getting money from recent years for the years that I was going to claim.
From the time you
Meaning if I was claiming during the years I was very active in music and had all the hits, I probably would have been getting more. But sadly, I don't think they have a mechanism where you can claim your previous royalties.
Because
I remember
that you weren't registered at the time.
Yeah, at the time. So maybe that logic, I disagreed with it, because by the end of the day, if they were playing my music on heavy rotation on all the TVs and radios, I should have still been, they should have had like a separate account for me. But I happened to go on that particular year, 3 years ago. I had like a significant amount of money where I was about, I was able to do a few things. I was like, So even whilst I was a bit, inactive.
Yeah.
I was still getting like a bit of good money. So Kosoma, I'd encourage every artist to go and register, and be able to get back something from your art. That year, I think I was able to get a good phone. I was able to, send my mom some money from the same. Yeah.
That much.
Yeah. So, it was, I wish I caught on to the concept earlier. But for me, I think music has always been a passion. So, to the extent that I actually forgot I can make money through my art. So, yeah.
And when I'm aware of and they mentioned that Kosoma, Imakangari, they're a bit biased and they don't have very clear structures on Mene and Tama and Dramazao. How do you look at it in your perspective?
Partially true, because sometimes when you get the breakdown of your statement, it wouldn't really make sense, because you want the nitty-gritties. I mean, what evidence is there that the tracking system is always on track? You know,
have you ever gotten a picture? Have they showed you how this tracking system works?
I asked for my statement once, and I was able to see, okay, radio station so and so, TV station so and so played my music, but there's no 100% transparency. This is something that could be doctored. Who knows? I mean, they could cook up figures from behind, or probably just base, and especially, okay, maybe all the other processes are not too questionable, but there's this one called public performance, where they say they give you royalties based on how your music is being played in different, you know, areas, be it the little to my pabu, to my areas. They just basically go to an area and then they find out, okay, which is, I feel, subjective, because you know, you can like Lucie's banda, rest in peace. You can like Patience Tamadinko, you know, and you'll be biased. You just say, nabida ku zolo nabida ku chilobwe, sumfika di nyimbo zokumfika kwa mbili ndiza Patience Tamadinko kapena za mwangu mwangu. So that criteria alone is subjective, because muna iwe fan wantu, you know, and you kwa hiyo nyimbo zomwe ukona ngati zikuhita ndiza I mean in actual fact, you know, see don't. So on that aspect alone of the public performance,
it's kind of flawed.
Yeah. So yeah.
Crafthouse, yeah, ooh, Crafthouse. You're watching Crafthouse, yeah, you're watching Crafthouse. TV at Crafthouse. My name is Dingalizra, and you're watching Crafthouse TV, the game changer.
Matinkale nao koma bali benkalidwe anthu apa no message. Matinkale nao koma bali benkalidwe anthu apa no message. What's up, my name is CEO Coach Sangala, and you are watching Crafthouse TV, the game changer. Kati pali mau amachita chogamba musamadikire mukakuta mowa. Sizo lelo maziona musiye miseje. Sizo maziona musiye miseje. Ndikuona kuchedwa mba tawi sikugwirwa ba nifuna nzanyamule kanda manja mwanga. Hello Malawi, this is your boy Sir Patrick's. Remember, you are watching Crafthouse TV, game changer. Boom.
All right, so I just need you to take it back a little bit, because earlier on you mentioned about Freestyle Fridays on Channel O, and you just screwed through it.
Screw. Yeah, so
but you really didn't get into the details of how and why you got there.
Yeah, a lot of people, you know, are anxious to find out what really happened behind that, and I don't think I really explained in detail.
It's the first ever it's ever happened.
Pretty much, yeah. So Crafthouse TV, you have this exclusive. So pretty much, there was a time I was really hungry, musically.
Okay.
And what I'll do was, I think I had just finished uni at the time. Oh yeah, I think I was jobless or something. So yeah, I'll just wake up, and then I'll grow up. I'll just wake up with a hunger, a musical hunger. And what I'll do was I'll just get beats, get my phone, and do 30-second freestyles and post on my timeline, on my Twitter, on my Facebook. And it just so happened to be that on one occasion, I went into my DMs, and someone that I barely knew asked me, I said, dude, I really like what you're doing with your freestyles. I like your freestyles. Do you think you can record something of a higher quality in terms of a freestyle and send it to me? I'm like, okay, who do you think you are? You know, it's probably just like a random fan hitting my DM and it's asking me to go and like record a proper freestyle with a higher quality and what. I'm like, okay, yeah, I think I can do that. And he said, okay, I'll send you beats in the evening, and you're gonna pick any of the beats that you can freestyle to, and find a guy with a proper camera, and do a freestyle. You know, it was until later that evening this guy had now revealed that, okay, so I'm trying to get this submission into. There's a program on Channel O called Freestyle Friday that they're trying to start. And it's being hosted by one of Africa's biggest rappers called Stogie T. And I was like, whoa, I know Stogie T, you know, formerly known as Toomey. And, you know, he had like all these big songs. He did songs with AKA and all these big artists, basically like a veteran. And I'm like, oh, so it's that serious, you know?
So this was a rep from Toomey's team?
Pretty much he had a friend who was in Toomey's team, in Stogie T's team.
Okay.
And this is where now I thank God, because if I had been, you know, like a gassed up rapper, I would have been like, it's probably just one of these fans trying to like take a piss. I'm going to And I quickly went to my friend's place, Blage. He had a room that had a studio basically. So I called Blage and Bass Cube, who had the recording equipment. And I called a guy known as iCash, who had a very good camera. Yeah. And we decided to, you know, like just like record. And that happened. No. I think I'm getting the details mixed. I only included Blage and Bass Cube after the first submission. The first submission was literally like a beat. I was actually on my veranda at my sister's place. And this guy just came with a camera, like I said, I didn't even have money. I'm gonna give you something, but I have to like record and send this thing ASAP. Yeah. So he came the next morning, we recorded, you know, one take. It was like a freestyle, one take freestyle, just with a beat playing in the background. And you know, iCash recorded it. You know, he went and mixed it. I sent it to the team. Yeah. And I got like feedback like an hour later, like, whoa. Stogie T likes the freestyle. Yeah. And he wants you to be a part of a new program on Channel O called Freestyle Friday. And Stogie's team is going to reach out. Stogie himself also reached out before his team did. Because I think, you know, I don't know, he liked it, you know. Real. Yeah, bro, he followed me on Twitter, bro. Like, actually followed me on Twitter and hit me with a DM like, yo, so I'm going to send you these beats. You're going to pick from one of these beats. And we're going to put you on the premiere of Freestyle Friday, which is my program. And the guest artist was, I think, AKA, or who was it? Yeah, I think it was AKA, one of the biggest stars in SA on the first program. So after that little interview, they got into the freestyle segment, of which, you know, I ended up being in there were 6, and I was probably thinking, my freestyle got played the last, and it was the best. Yeah, the last. And... you know, the back announcement, you know, where, you know, the actual Stogie T is actually saying, this is fire, and, you know, and I'm like, what? This is so surreal. This can't be me, you know, from that little freestyle I did on the veranda or Bakondebo, it was something that was so surreal, and it's the highlight of my musical career, because I felt accepted outside the borders of Malawi, where, you know, here it was like, you know, there are bigger artists out there, but then a very big artist, probably bigger than most hip-hop artists in Malawi, has actually recognized my skill and put me on such a big platform. Yeah. And later on, he reached out for a compilation album, which is actually, I think it was put on hold, but he personally DM'd me again, telling me to be a part of that compilation album, where he says, you know, he said, you were one of the best in the Freestyle Friday edition. So we're trying to do an album, and we want you on it as well. Wow. So yeah, pretty much.
That's amazing.
I know. So yeah, that's how it went. And now you know the story. All
right. So fast forward, that happened. What was the response like on the local scene, you know, when they saw that people recognize you, Gunja?
Tikasiwa, fit must do into it all. You into it all. Fit. Nabusa got a panka. Nabusa. Yeah. Okay, fine. But you know how it is when things like that happen. Now everyone comes in. Okay. So, okay, fun. We've been sleeping on him, but he's actually okay. And yeah, obviously the attention was more, and it was, it was so surreal. Like I said, Ninginyuri doesn't happen. It's probably the first of its kind, if not the only time where that has actually happened, where an international artist, well-renowned, has been able to pick someone from a different different country and be able to put them on. Yeah, so it was the first of its kind, and yeah, obviously the response was, "Come guy, I mean, I'm as wait." It was like, it's a fine. So yeah.
All right, so there's been some moments on your socials where I feel like you kind of have wings. You grow your own wings sometimes on social media.
Me?
Like low key.
It can't be.
You do grow a little bit of wings. I've got some receipts. Slessor. I'm just gonna go through them just one by one.
Okay.
Right?
I'll justify every moment. Whether it was whiskey, whether it was
gin,
whether it was brandy. What is it? Okay, cool.
I'm thinking. We'll see which one was.
Okay, let's go.
All right, so there was a post that you shared, and it went like, if you feature Slessor on your project and you allow him to drop a verse in English, the chances of being killed on your project is 85%. Was this you agreeing? Was this you feeling yourself? Was it like, okay,
wait, does that have a year on it? What year was that?
I think this was around 2021, 22.
2021 and 2022. Yeah, but don't you think that's true though?
Look, I'm asking you. You're on the seat.
Yeah, I felt like that's just how I felt. And to be honest, when you look at it that way, there are very few people that can actually, come to power with what I can do when I'm, as opposed to Venek, because Venek, my landlord, but me, I'm also comfortable in that zone. So everyone has their own strengths, and for me, that's just me saying, in this area, this is probably one of my strengths. So if you want to try and play with me on this side of the fence, then yeah, good luck. Definitely, yeah.
All right, let's talk about hip hop.
Yeah.
Lyricists for you right now at the moment, with the music the way it's coming out, hip hop, Yabanobai. Which artists would you say are your best Banova?
As in new school hip hop artists?
Not new school per se, but the hip hop music that's been coming out recently. Yeah.
It's always tricky for me to answer questions about who I think maybe is, like the best hip hop rapper in Malawi.
No, not
not the best per se. Okay, but people I would appreciate. Oh yeah, that's easy. That's straight up. My gotta be my brother Bass Cube, bro. Bass Cube. Yeah. If you've ever heard of Bass Cube, that's one of the baddest and meanest guys on the scene right now when you talk about rap music in Malawi. Not just because he's my friend, but it's because I've seen his journey, in terms of growing musically and hip hop wise. He started off as somebody who admired my talent. And it's funny how I met him. He was a Joyce Banda, and I used to live around Chimankunda area at a certain point. And you know how it is, like in the neighborhood. Uliba grocery, ufuna kule bread yani. Kama na nega uturugira kafa uniform. Madwasa jani feso di mamenya sound in China. Keep at it, young man. One day you're gonna, And fast forward, we met. I was at Chanko, and he had come to do like a couple programs there as well. And we ended up on the same cipher, Chanko Cipher, which is probably one of the best ciphers, by the way, ever. Chanko Cipher 2019. And, from there, he has just like amazed me in terms of how he's grown musically. He's got like an album out right now. It's called The Exhibition, which of course I'm featured on as well. And just how he's able to like flex his rapping abilities, bilingual as well, and also his rapping techniques, able to switch it up, able to do like, flexible with his tongue. I feel like that's where hip hop music needs to be going, Of course, shout out to Mario Bros, Crazy G. I've done a couple of tracks with him way back when I was just, getting onto the scene with him. Those guys are doing good as well. Give credit where it's due. They're coming in with their own type of, vibe. That is, it's hip hop, but their kind of hip hop, which is, they're confident about what they do. They record like 50 songs a night, and they live hip hop. They live and breathe hip hop. So I appreciate that in terms of, artistry. Yeah.
All right, so we're headed towards the end of the year, and we're headed into award season, and it's coming up hot.
Coming in hot, Camboose. Yeah, that one.
All right, so we've got one of the awards that's trending right now. That's the Maswa Awards, and a lot of people have been coming in pretty much with some backlash. My categories out, they're not so justified, and some of the people that are being nominated in some categories don't deserve to be placed there. And we've seen Antoine Asawabanga withdraw my nominations. Afuna Abange withdraw my nominations. How do you actually look at the whole process of the awards? How are you handling it?
Now, to be honest, I feel like we still have a long way to go in terms of how we handle awards in Malawi. My advice would be learn from the best. Learn how our friends do it. Learn what the international standards are. Learn what the acceptable standards are in the awards that are credible globally. What is it that they do in terms of the criterias and how they select categories? Because these things are not new concepts. We've got of course we can't compare any Grammys. There is a certain standard that has been set globally, regionally, that we can learn from. And it saddens me, we try and do things mama shortcut. We try and do things in how best we feel things need to be done. And in the end, we end up getting backlash from it. Artists are pulling out because probably we didn't do enough research on how best we can execute plans on our awards. Awards are things that are sensitive. You are awarding someone for the input. The input that they've placed in the industry, and most times it involves a lot of sacrifices, a lot of hard work, and you can't just take that away from man. You have to make sure that the selection criteria really meets the standards that are required. Otherwise, we'll find a lot of people pulling out because, somebody just doesn't come and pull out of an award. It's something that's supposed to be prestigious. But if somebody pulls out, there's a question mark. There's something that we need to do better, that we need to improve, in terms of making sure that the awards are credible and accepted by all. Yeah.
Do you think where Malawi is at, Panoba, we are at that level where do you feel that our music is at that level, or do you
right now?
Yeah.
Straight up, Malawian music, Pano.
Yeah.
I say there was a time you could barely listen to Malawian music. It was gonna be selective artists. They're gonna be on your playlist. But right now, I think with all these platforms, the TikToks, Majani, it's brought a lot of exposure and a lot of encouragement to my creatives to keep putting out good things. So, Panova, you can actually go, like on Spotify, on Apple Music, and listen to a whole body of work that is Malawian. Kareli Jayu, Kwambidi would listen to a lot of international music, Essay, Muna Zambia, Tanzania. Panova, we've upped the level. Really, we've turned it up a notch in terms of the quality of the music, in terms of the excitement that comes with it.
Yeah.
Malawian music has grown, and it shouldn't be an excuse. No, right now, we got people getting millions of views, and
so it's worth getting an award.
Yes.
In Malawi.
At this point in time, we are ready for awards, but they have to be done in the right manner. So hi guys, vote. So we need to fix the criteria. Seriously, yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. Yeah, but delegate.
Okay, so you have a new album out. Did You Miss Me? Tell us about the congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you.
And just tell us more about this, the thought process in it, and who is it that you got to work with on this project as well.
So it's been a journey. I tried to move away from the music scene, but you know, when something is in you and it's an inborn talent and it's a calling, I believe music is my calling. Everyone has their own skills and, you know, talents that they're born with. And just so happens to be, I believe music is one of my strengths and one of my skills. And I'll try and focus on a lot of things career-wise, like professionally, you know, academically, but somehow I'll still find myself back, you know, having that inspiration to do something. The something beat, and then I'll get ideas like, Billy, I do it. So, you know, I'd have like producer friends sending me beats, you know, like one way of telling me, dude, don't sleep. You can still keep going with your art. And, you know, and over time, I found myself at a point where I needed to express myself again fully. And Did You Miss Me was a concept that was derived from the me missing from the scene for quite some time, not being as active as I should have been, and finding myself in a position where Panova, I'm inspired to like do music again. And it just so happened that this year was the year where I decided to bless my fans with a lot of good music. And I had been getting all these DMs. Like, you know, I'll get, you know, these encouragements from my fans to like do something about it. So I had been recording songs within the year where, you know, I felt like, okay, today I want to go express myself. It didn't really feel like a full album until that one day. You know, as creatives, you just have this one special moment where you feel like, aha. And I found my aha moment a month before the release, or it was only days before the release. This album probably wasn't even going to come out. Yeah, because it was like, I had a beat from a producer friend of mine called Basic. He sent me some really soulful hip hop songs. And I played this one beat and it felt like this is it, you know? It completed all the efforts that I was, you know, putting in terms of recording the content. And I was like, because my producer was like, you know what? It's a cut album. You can EP, watch. That will drop a track 6. It was a boys that saw Zappo and you can move along. And I was like, no, you know, I had like a lot of like good content, but it just didn't make sense because an album has to be carefully crafted and knitted to make sense. It's some kind of like a compilation. You do on Gorenga Nyimbo, okay, 5 pieces, Zappo. No, but it has to make sense. For me, it has to be a story that is well crafted. Yeah. And that's when I came with the title song, Did You Miss Me? The title track of the album, where I explained my musical journey, professional journey, and why I was missing on the scene, moments when I felt like I was uninspired, moments where I felt like, that music is focus on this. So that song basically summarizes everything and makes the album complete. And because I had a media background, studied communication in college, I felt like that was a very big aspect of my album as well. I need to explain that journey academically, professionally, and it is embodied in this album, even through the skits or the interludes. They speak about, you know, that journey, and it makes sense when you listen to the whole body of work and how it was crafted. And that night was when I knew I have an album, because of that one song, because now all the other songs made sense and they were carefully knitted together. Yeah. If I could, you know, and it hasn't been easy to come up with the full body of work done, because my work ethic at this point, because I'm inspired by that idea and I want to like execute it. It's crazy. And then my producer friends would be like, well, I'm a fan and I get out. I was in Guangua, I go write this session, and then even I look at it, and they will like, you know what, dude, now pay you for that session. No, MOD, that would be MOD now. now you have to negotiate with your producer friend to like give all his all on your project.
Yeah.
And make sure we deliver the best. So there was a lot of disagreements, creative differences, but in the end, we managed to come up with a very good project.
So MOD produced everything?
Not really. So MOD did the sound recording and the mixing, and the beats were done by, there was a beat by, there are beats from Blage, one beat from Blage actually, there's a beat from Slow Beats, a couple of beats from Slow Beats. There's Tonic City. There's a kid called Steve Chris, he's an upcoming producer who's really, really good. And pretty much I worked with these 4 major producers on it. On a song called Too Late, there's a guy called Kumbo or Desire. He's the guy that did the guitar on the song.
Okay.
Yeah, so in terms of features, I had Gazelle, I had 7 or More, who took a break, but managed to get him on the album. I had a very controversial song. I had 2 artists that were beefing and still at odds. I managed to get them on the same song.
How did you do that? And who are we talking about here?
Connections. So Episodes and Rifle Dynamics, they had a very vicious beef, and I did a concept code for the culture.
Okay.
Where we're saying we put aside our differences.
For the culture.
Yes, so
Hip-hop.
we'll come together for the for the hip hop culture, and it's actually on the album. It's Code for the Culture. I did it with Episodes and Rifle Dynamics. So
did they record it on different sessions, different
definitely,
days,
those guys would have killed each other in the booth because it's
No
like
way.
serious beef. Hey, this whole beef thing, it was a serious issue.
Do you have beef with anybody?
Not at the moment.
Did you have beef?
There's some people that I did have beef.
Okay, just list a couple of. Did you squash?
Kumashazimva?
Yeah.
Eh?
A lot of them. I said beef.
No. You was very fun. I'm another Bagaria. I got be
No, okay.
But I had a lot of differences. You can look it up, Lucie. Those are my past days.
But still, it's relevant to your career.
Oh yeah, relevant. Oh yeah, I had differences with a lot of musicians. Tichule?
Hey, yo.
Yeah, Ajina Gwamba, we had differences.
Is that why you mentioned? Okay.
No. We're actually cool right now. We actually have a song together.
Awesome.
We actually talk, and he does a lot of sharing of my art.
How did you actually
squash the beef?
Yeah.
To be honest, we're grown now. Look at Gwamba. He's doing good. He's married. It wouldn't make sense. We should be vested in putting all the energy in beefing and like this hate towards each other. And actually me and Gwamba started off admiring each other, remember my story
Admiring each other.
No, yeah, because remember my story of where I said I was recording my first songs by Pilgrim and Renegade's house side. And these guys, Crazy G and Gwamba, at the time they were coming onto the scene as well. I was getting onto the scene as well. We happened to meet at the studio. Me as my session zanga, I was hungry, like I told you that time. And these guys are waiting outside. And eventually they got inside and they're like, this kid Slessor from Zuzu Yenchani, Bombo, he became an instant fan, sent me a request on Facebook. We started interacting. He was trying to do shows at Mzuni. He tried to get me onto that. And then somehow along the way, ego, you're young, you're coming onto the scene, you're getting attention. And we ended up having differences because there were a lot of comparisons also. But that also made us, so fast forward, we're grown. We are all doing our own things and we appreciate each other's arts and talents. We squashed that. And who else did I have a difference with? I'm trying to remember.
Which one was your most intense?
I remember backstage, Robin's Park, Shoya Pixie. I was with Trap Squad and who did we have beef with? Oh, Third Eye! Mandela! Mandela also came onto the scene admiring my talent to do well with me, but somehow along the way, and I'm going to group because I think because of my affiliation with but surprisingly he endorsed my former songs and was like, hey, this kid is really But I think because of my affiliation, the late Revolver and
Beef by association.
yeah, it was like, hey, Slessor, I was like, so I saw the tweet. I was like, but big bro, you've always, been on my side and stuff. Like you're like a fan and encouraging me, and then now it's screw me like on Twitter, and that blew up and escalated quickly to the point that we met at a live show, Robin's Park. And that escalated quickly, thanks to, I think, the Janlu on a race. Hands
with throats.
Hey, it was hands on me. Screw you, because now Chavura, I think, was like, now, confronting him. And then we were trying to get in, trying to, like, calm down the situation. Oh, no, I wasn't trying to calm down the situation. I was active. I was like, this dude was talking smack about me on Twitter in the first place. So now it's on, it's live. So Pagan security had to come to break the fight.
But did y'all end up performing at the end?
No, we got kicked out.
Oh, man.
Dalu and all those guys are trying to calm the situation down.
Yeah.
We got kicked out. We went outside the building. Stitch Frey is still stoning the bodyguards until, hey, guys. I'm sorry, Stitch. I just had to say this. This is... I've never spoken about this, so that's just an exclusive on Crafthouse TV.
This is insane, guys.
It was tense. Huh? At this point, the Mandela...
It's like Biggie and
the third eye. Yeah. At this point, the third eye Trap Squad Slessor beef was... Because Mandela was talking a lot of smack. Right? But...
Are you guys cool now, or...?
He's big, bro. I'm actually on one of his albums. The one I think the one he put out a year or two ago. Yes, I'm on a song with him called The Ghetto.
And there you were trying to rip each other's head.
Yeah, because, like I'm saying, it was probably because of association. Because Mandela, from the onset, through Frank, had always been like a fan. And we're like, oh, I'm so, hey, wow, this kid's on fire. Like, he liked my song Heartbreak. I think he even tweeted about it. So it came as a surprise. Big bro.
How?
Big bro's now saying screw me. Like, what's going on? Like, suddenly I'm whack, I'm like, so eventually, like I'm saying, I think time and growth, they enable us to just like put some things aside. Yeah, but I almost forgot that highlight of the moment. That was serious beef. There was blood, and hey, that one.
So it's just those two then. That you would think
publicly, yeah, pretty much. Because I'm not really, I like to view myself as a guy who, I say, if you're real and you're good at what you do, will eventually, like automatically click. But if you're real and then you have a, like a messed up attitude and you think you're better than everyone else. Because by the end of the day, every rapper feels like they're better than anyone else.
Yeah, because I like to think that hip hop is associated with a little bit of ego as well.
Yeah, but then at the same time, there has to be mutual respect. If you're hot, I'm hot, and, we're good, But if you feel you can take it to certain levels where you try to demean my talent and my art, then I'm going to defend myself. Yeah.
All right, so moving forward, who else do you see yourself collaborating with amongst the new people that are coming up in terms of hip hop?
Yeah.
Or not just hip hop.
Yeah. Let's not limit it. Let's not.
And very different.
Yeah, because I like to blend in with different musicians. So for me, I like what Fada Modi is doing. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to see you sing.
I'm a piano.
No.
You know I do sing, right? I rap and sing.
Yeah,
but my singing would come out different. Yeah. But then I like diversity and I like the idea of exploring Ngini Usenasiana. I don't want to box myself always. I should be able to do. I can get Fada Modi on a hip hop song and get him to sing a hook.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have to do I'm a piano, but we can find a balance. I can. I like. Who else do I like?
What genre are you listening to right now that you feel like you could rope in someone from that genre and put it on a hip hop too?
The Afro guys, those are good because Afro and dancehall. The fusion of the two always you make a good you can make a good hit through that.
Yeah,
I like the fusion of dancehall music and hip hop. It gives a very good vibe. Hence, I worked with Chismo and all those guys. I like Trappy beats. He's doing good as well.
Yeah,
Trappy's got all those very nice songs and he's diverse and he's able to do different things as well. Kodwin and Danny, these guys are on fire. Hey. From the Njuchi clan, I've only worked with Chismo, but I'd like to work with Eli Njuchi as well. I love his music. I like how he expresses his emotions on songs. You can actually feel with it. Hey, Indian music.
Sounds like somebody. It's like an old soul.
Yeah, Patience Namadingo. Apparently we were together in when I just moved to Mzuzu.
Okay.
I think we were together in primary school.
Interesting.
At a school called Ugani. So it was actually me, Patience Namadingo, and Classic in the same class.
In the same class?
Yeah, in primary school.
This is interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And actually, it's Patience who always reminds me every time we meet. Yeah, that wasn't in school, was it? You were, like Lassimos. They're like, okay. And yeah, I feel like he's probably one of the best live performers when it comes to music.
We're talking 10 million.
What
are you saying?
What about Mr. 10 meter?
10 million.
But yeah, I mean, his art is high quality art. So whatever he feels he can value himself at, that's up to him.
All right. So next year, 2025, what are we looking at musically for Slessor?
We
Fresh
want to
out the
drop.
album.
First of all, we're actually working on a joint album with Bass Cube. We're working on an album called Blood Brothers.
Okay.
So that's in the works, and we're hoping on dropping it early 2025. We're gonna do it December, Gomano. We've bombarded you guys with too much content.
Yes.
So probably
album from you, from him,
and then so I think probably early 2025.
Okay.
A lot more visuals. So since I dropped the album already, for me, the day after the Bass Cube collaboration album, it'll be probably a couple of singles in between. So so 2025 should be exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So somebody that's coming up in hip hop right now wants to be where you are, probably get a feature somewhere outside. Hey, yo, come and do something like the way you had Freestyle Fridays. What would you like to say to someone like that? I want to come up in the music industry, hip hop, something that maybe you would have loved if you were told earlier for you to do?
Being that I'm a beneficiary of being able to have like more established artists support me, even though they, I wasn't really big out there. I wouldn't really be cocky and block other young and upcoming artists to get into the limelight. It's simple. As long as you're really good at what you do and you're not forcing it, and there's talent there. Normally, I would ask, they'll send a DM. I'm father, we're getting to father in China. I'll be like, Zapo Bo, just send me links to your music, or if you have songs, I need to get a number. I'm gonna get a phone number. I'm usually hesitant, but I have another line which I share with young artists where they share their content with me, and I'm able to give them honest opinions. Father, can you improve? Try and improve your talent, guy. When you're fully, baked, we can work together, and and just make sure you handle my studio fee, basi. I'll go there, I'll record, transport, basi. That's fine. I won't even charge you as long as you're really good, and I'll be able to support that art and give you avenues where you can promote your music as well. Yeah.
All right, man. This was definitely insightful.
Wow, you guys got me to open up about things I thought I'd never really open up.
I love it. I love it for you. This is a nice
especially the
platform.
fights. How did I eat? I've never spoken up about that. Guys are probably don't get mad. These things happen.
They happen.
Stitch. These things happen. I was hip hop one night. We bled for this hip hop.
We bled for this hip hop.
So thank you so much for having me.
All right.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, that was our chat there with Slessor, and it was definitely an interesting chat. Who knew that Slessor was out here and backstage is about to throw hands and be catching hands as well at the same time? But I guess that's what we call hip hop these days, and back in the day as well. But coming your way next is a performance done by him, and it's called Did You Miss Me, coming in fresh from his new album. Let's check it out.
Be it. You're watching Crafthouse TV, the game changer.
My people, listen to him. Oh, listen to him. My people, listen to him. Oh, listen to him. Listen to him. What's up? My name is CEO Coach Sangala, and you are watching Crafthouse TV, the game changer.
Dikulumbila cheke twa, dilumbila cheke twa, baby. Hello people, it's your girl Hugo and you're watching Crafthouse TV, game changer.
Yeah, basic, I see you. Let's take it back to 2012 when I moved back to Blantyre. Heartbreaker all my time, my homie, I was on fire. Top 5 new MCs, I was top tier. Dreams kept piercing through, sorta like a barbed wire. You see, I studied journalism as a course, and Blantyre was full of opportunities, of course. So I went to Midge Radio, started as an intern, put in all the work, man, my inner passion did burn. 6 o'clock news, homie, I was reading that. Friends told me Slessor was so on where we meeting at. But I made some sacrifices just to excel. Man on fire, I was feeling like a Denzel. Meanwhile, all my fans wanted music. I went to the studio and showed them I could do it. Renaissance a mixtape, 2014. There was Stitch on the board, my writing was really mean. Frank made sure all the real heads got it. DJ Clips told you what you know about it. I made a couple friends in the Malawian industry. Saint and Revolver, man, I'm sure that's not a mystery. Fast forward up to 2016, the fans, they wanted more. I gathered my 16s. I wanted to explore what diverse really means. I dropped paChiwaya, Swagaga Baza. Those are my biggest hits. I did Slessor and Abweletsa. And on the side, I got tired of my day job. Malawian media, it just didn't pay off. I had a vision, so I got enrolled in Chanko. Students looking at me like, wait, isn't that Slessor? I thought I'm on my watch, my kids. But it's cool, I survived all the ridicule. Not too many rappers have degrees, man, they're really few. And on campus, I had a lot of haters. Social weekend, those Slessor. That's okay, now when's Chanko Cypher? Me and Bass Cube, we killed it and got it hyper. 2019, yo, I graduated. Should I go back to media? I kept debating. Then I branched off to marketing. COVID-19, it was really disheartening. 2 months, yo, no come no bully best man did it. To be honest, I lost passion for the music. My professional path was becoming more fluent. 2021, did the freestyle on Channel O. Stogie T told me, young man, you can really flow. Oh, but that just didn't cut it though. Went corporate, I just wanted to be getting dope. Listen, now it's 2024. I keep meeting all these fans, tell me that they wanted more. So I'm back again, writing lyrics and killing tracks again. Careful with that envelope, oh, it's anthrax again. Slessor. Did you miss me? I'm just asking, did you miss me? Yeah. And this is strictly for the hip-hop heads. And did you miss me? Did you miss me? By the corner over there, did you miss me? And this is strictly, man, I'm really glad you're back rapping again. Show them what you got to make it happen again. Man, I'm really glad you're back rapping again. Show them what you got to make it happen again. Yeah, did you miss me? Did you miss me? I'm just asking, did you miss me? Did you miss me? I'm just asking, did you miss me? Miss me, miss me.
Ondikonda amandikonda aliya wanu nilikuno kuno ine nilikuno kunoko.
Yeah, man, this is Sanbi, otherwise known as Wonder. You're watching Crafthouse TV. Stay tuned.
Nilikuno kuno ine nilikuno kunoko. Umpetetsa amandikonda aliya wanu nilikuno kuno ine nilikuno kunoko.
I'm coming
live from Crafthouse. I'm spitting the truth, don't doubt. Spitting the good, my brother, no doubt. It's the SLE. You can do your research, brother. They know me. Pianos and keyboards, but I'm still low key. Yo, it's your boy Slessor, and you're watching Crafthouse TV. Peace.
nanga bakati individi ya Malawi wauona moto kumwena mpaka bukoto nanga bakati individi ya Malawi.
That was a performance there done by Slessor, and it's called Did You Miss Me? Coming in fresh from his album that's also called Did You Miss Me? But this about brings us to the end of the program for today for Streethouse. And you've been with me, your host, Lucie JR. Make sure you tune in and find out who our guest for Who Is next week. But until then, peace.
What up? This is Coco the Rock. You're watching Crafthouse TV. Game changer.
I know that you've been working so hard. Everything you do is falling apart. You are not a fool, you effing smart. But this cold-ass world keeps breaking your heart, yeah.
Malawi, what's good? It's your boy Sonia, and you're watching Crafthouse TV, the game changer. Peace.
If you keep it together,